name's Samantha and this is episode 12 of the Khaos Kismet podcast. This is my little place on the internet where I talk about all the crafty things I have been doing for the last week. Mostly crochet, bit of knitting, bit of sewing, bit of cross stitch embroidery. I do like to try other crafts, mostly it's crochet though. How are you? I hope you're doing good. Hope you've had a good week. I know I keep saying this every week. The week has just flown by again. In fact, the entire year. I think the entire year has just flown by. It's crazy thinking that we're halfway through the year already. And yeah, because my 11-year-old's going to be going to high school after the summer. And yeah, life is just flying. So I'm actually recording on the right day today. I've got my little Mickey and Minnie mug. And what have we got today? So I'm a little bit flustered at the minute. This is like my second time recording, because if you've watched previous podcasts, it will come as absolutely no shock that I started recording and then was sabotaged by my dog. She decided to come barreling up the room with a toy and smash into the camera. So I've had to collect all my things and get the dog organised. I've put her in our crate now and hopefully she will behave. Right, so today we have a little bit of crochet, a little bit of knitting, a little bit of sewing and a little bit of cross stitch. So I'll start with what I'm wearing. This isn't a new thing. Right, I made this last year before maybe, and it's just a plain V-stitch cardigan, and I just freehanded it. I didn't want to have buttons on it, but I think I've made, the back fits me fine, but I've not made the front panels wide enough, I don't think. So it kind of hangs, but because the front panels are slightly shaped, I don't know if I like it. I've put bishop sleeves on it, so they're quite baggy, and then just like rapid decrease over like a couple of rows. But I mean, they're not tight, I've got plenty of room in there, but they're just not great for getting on and off. The entire thing's not great for getting on and off when I've got my rings on, but yeah, I don't know. It's made from, oh, what's the name of the yarn now? It's exactly the same. It's a woven yarn and it's exactly the same as the Red Heart one. It's a Red Heart Boutique maybe? Something like that. But it's exactly the same colourway and everything, but it's not the Red Heart one. It's, because it's actually quite hard to get a lot of the Red Heart stuff in this country. I can't remember. But it's the same sort of thing. It's an Aran weight woven yarn. I really like the colour. It's nice. I'm wearing just like a plain black dress at the minute, and it's nice just to throw on with that. But I don't know if I like the fronts being so narrow. But we shall see. I'm wearing it today. I've barely worn it. I'm wearing it today to see how I get on, and if by the end of the day I like it, I'll keep it. If not, it'll get frogged and I'll just reuse the yarn for something else. Maybe just another cardigan, because I like the colour of the cardigan and I like the yarn. So this may be the last time this is seen in public. We shall see. Right, what else have we got? Finished objects. I started a new series this week. I decided that I'm going to start working my way through my Ravelry queue. I've mentioned this before, I think. I've got a massive Ravelry queue, and you know, they're in my queue and in my library because they are the things that I like and that I want to make. So to give me a little bit of incentive to start actually looking through them and picking stuff up, I've decided I'm going to start a Stitch Your Library series. The first one's already up, that went up yesterday, and that was for this. Now this one's a little bit shorter than like the original one. Oh, see, look at the texture. Can you see like the little flecks It's got little flecks of red and black in it. It's a chunky yarn. My boyfriend bought it for me actually. Here we go. It's from B&M, so I'm pretty sure you can only get it in the UK. It is 100 metres. There's no yardage on it, it just says 100 metres. 97% acrylic and 3% viscose. I'm guessing the viscose is the little bobbly bits. I will say though, like a lot of these tweedy yarns, the tweedy bits do pull off quite easily. So I would not use this yarn for like babies or anything like that. The actual yarn itself is lovely, it's squishy, it's soft, it's easy to work with. It's quite loosely plied, like you'll be able to see it's quite loosely plied, but not splitty. So it gives that a nice sort of swish because of loose plies. This is the bean stitch, and the pattern that I used was from Megan Meyer Left in Knots. I'll link it down below. It's part of an ebook that she did, and I can't remember if it was Christmas just past or the Christmas before, and there's 7 patterns in it for, it's about £20 or something for the 7 patterns. I got it on offer. I know I definitely didn't pay full price for it, but at the minute, because I looked it up yesterday for the Stitcher library, it's about £20 for the ebook. This pattern on its own is about £4-ish, give or take. The actual numbers for it are in my Stitcher library thing. But also, I say I'll leave the link down below and you can go and check it out. I'll leave the links for Ravelry, but I will also leave the links for it on her blog, because you can get the pattern for free on her blog. So yeah, and yeah, it's a free pattern. So oh my brain just went, no it's not, it is. It's a free pattern on her blog. I'm pretty sure you can get the entire, it's 7 days of Scarfie, I think. Except I don't have Scarfie. I had this, so I used this. The yardage on Scarfie is a little bit more. So this is 200 grams worth. And that's the seam. Look, you can hardly even see the seam. That's 200 grams worth. It's slightly less yardage than the Scarfie yarn, her one. Now it says in it to use a 6.5mm hook as well, and I used a 7 on this, and I don't think it's particularly gappy, even like when it stretches out. But when you look at her one, it looks a lot looser than this, so I don't know. It might just be the different yarn. It might be a tension thing, it literally could be anything. But I will link it down below. Very quick and easy. I made that in probably about an hour. And it's, I'll see if I can show you what it's like when it's on. See? And then I can just fold it like that to put it under my coat for winter time. I'm sitting here yesterday, it's like 21 degrees outside, and I'm sitting making a chunky cowl because I can. I don't know what's wrong with me. I just wanted to make a nice quick easy chunky cowl. You know when sometimes you just want to have a quick finish on something. That was my I want to have a quick finish, so chunky cowl is. Oh dear. Next on my finished objects list, I actually finished my boyfriend's socks. I've not sewn the ends in yet because I've already made these socks for him before and they were just a little bit too short. I do have a foot template for him, but it didn't really work out last time. So I've redone them. I've made the leg longer as well. So we've got a 7-inch leg. We've got like, what I've done is I've followed the Crazy Sock Ladies DK pattern for the stitch count. I've done a 7-inch leg. They're just plain vanilla socks. I've put in a fish lips kiss heel, and then I've done the foot, and then I've just, he's got quite long toes, so I've just made like normally when you knit socks, if you're a sock knitter you know this, but if you don't really knit socks, normally you would do like a decrease, you do some decrease rows and then you sort of intersperse just plain knit rows on them. I've just, instead of doing decrease rows one after the other, I've put a knit row in between every single decrease all the way up, so it's got a slightly longer toe on it, and so hopefully that's going to fit him a little better. But that's why I've not sewed him at ends, because I need to get him to try them on. He's going to be here later on. It was meant to come down last weekend. My boyfriend lives like 3 hours away from me, and he was meant to come down last weekend and he couldn't because he gets here by train and all the trains had decided to go on strike. So he's going to come down this weekend instead. So it's going to be a full house because I'm going to have my boyfriend here, and this is the weekend that the kids are here as well, because me and my dad share custody and we have alternate weekends. So this is my weekend with the kids, and I'm going to have my boyfriend here. So it's going to be a busy weekend. Well, actually, tangent, we're going to spend the weekend making Father's Day things. I said to my children, what do you want to make your dad for Father's Day? Because it's important to me that they actually celebrate Father's Day, because Father's Day tends to get kind of forgotten about. But, you know, their dad is a good dad and he puts a lot of effort into being a good dad. So I want to put a lot of effort, like I've always put a lot of effort into Father's Day, because he deserves it as well. So I'm like, right, what do you want to make for your dad? It needs to be something that he likes, not something that you like, something that your dad will like, because they're children and they tend to pick whatever it is they're into at the time and just assume that everybody loves it. But we came to a nice little conclusion. So my 11-year-old is going to make an embroidery. He wants to make a hoop art, so he's going to do some artwork and I'm going to show him how to transfer it onto the fabric, and then he's going to just embroider over it. My 8-year-old, what would you like to make for your dad? I want to make him a Mandalorian. Okay, now I'm also very big on, if the children want to make something, then they should make. I will also make something as well, if they want to make them something specific that's a little out of their skill set. I will make it, as long as they also make something. That's the rules. I'm not making their Father's Day presents for them. So he's like, I want to make a Mandalorian. So what do you mean you want to make a Mandalorian? A doll, a plushie. You know, like the teddies. I want to make a Mandalorian for him. That's my 8-year-old. I was like, right. Do you understand how difficult that's going to be? He's like, but I made a patchwork cushion before. I can sew. Like, I love your enthusiasm, but that's probably a little beyond you at the minute. That's something you can work up to, maybe for next year. Okay, right. So he's going to make, we've decided that I have some Mandalorian fabric with some Baby Yodas on it. And so he's going to make him a patchwork cushion from that, because I supervise him, obviously, but he can make patchwork on the sewing machine. So that's quite good, and he will enjoy that. And yeah, I've bought him a couple of little things to go with it as well. But the things that he will enjoy are the things that the kids have made for him. So that's what we're going to be doing this weekend. So that's going to be super fun. Anyway, that was a massive tangent. I'm sorry. I'm not sure if I've had too much or not enough caffeine today, because my brain is going a million miles an hour. But I just feel like, but the weather's quite warm as well. She says sitting here wearing a crochet cardigan. Anyway, socks. The socks are done. I have showed these several times. Oh, where is my... Moomin yarn. Oh, Moomin yarn. I've showed this before as well. It is... That's the things on the back. I cannot speak Finnish, and I'm not going to attempt to speak Finnish. I think I attempted it once before, and I don't want to offend Finland anymore. Moomins. Moomins are super cute. I literally bought this because it has moomins on it. But the yarn is lovely. It's DK weight. It's DK weight, yet they still took me like a month to make because he has massive feet. But I definitely recommend the yarn. I don't know what it's like for wearing yet because it's the first time that I've used it. And I will report back. It's not your normal sock composition. It's 60% wool and 40% polyamide. You get 112 meters, 122 yards and 50 grams, 50 gram balls. I've still got another 2 of them left. These actually took up almost an entire 50 gram ball each, but I had bought 2, so I might make my matching hat because, you know, everybody wants a hat to match their socks. I don't know what else to do with it. He's not going to want more socks in the same colour, so I think I'll make him a matching hat. And then he can just have matching hat and socks, because why not? It's a normal thing to do. I have Lucozade in my cup. Oh dear. That is, oh no, that's not all my finished objects. I made these as well. Now I showed these last week. Well, I showed the start of this one last week. These are water bottle covers. I'm going to make a blog post just about these. They are made with cotton. It drops. Ooh, oh dear. We're attached to the crochet hook. Drops Muscat. I ripped the label in the wrong place. Can you see that? Drops Muscat. These are also 50 gram balls. And these have 100 meters in them, 109 yards. They are 100% cotton, but they've got that. So red's probably not the best colour to show you actually. You'll maybe see it better on the pink. They've got like a sheen to it. However, I complained about this last week. Oh, there you go. There's a nice bit to show you. This is how splitty this yarn is. Let's see. Can you see that? It's not good to work with at all. And I've got loads of it left as well. I've got balls of it left and they're all in different colours because I bought a load of them to make amigurumis with. And I made one amigurumi and decided it was a horrendous experience and didn't want to use it anymore. But, you know, it's there, so I should probably use it. So I thought I will make these for the kids. So this is my 11-year-old one. He chose bright red. And my 8-year-old's one, he chose pink. And I was quite happy with this up until my ex walked in and went, did he really pick those colours? Do you not think they look a little bit rude? And now I can't unsee that. So, you know, as much as I love my ex to bits, I could have slapped him because he's now just ruined. So I'm going to make a blog post about these. I might do a quick little video tutorial to go with it. I cannot speak today, I'm sorry. Make a quick little video tutorial to go with it. I know last week I'd said I was going to put some badges on these. I've got these down here somewhere. I was going to put these on them, and they're just like iron-on patches. However, when they put the bottles in them, because I had kind of underestimated how much the cotton would stretch, so when they've put the bottles in them and the weight of the water bottles pulled it down, I wouldn't be able to put them on. They would just pop off again. So I'm going to have to find something else. I need to find some like cool badges, or I don't know, something to put on them apart from that. But in the short term, it means when we go out for a walk, they've got things to put the water bottles in, so they don't have to carry them everywhere. So they can do things like pick up things off the floor that they're not supposed to touch, or go over and poke at beasties that are just sitting there quite happily enjoying the sun. You know, stuff like that. Ah, dear. They're not too bad actually, to be fair. They understand the fact that if they're out in the countryside, to keep it quiet, because there are animals and we're just visiting and we're not allowed to scare the animals. I think that's it for my finished objects. I have a few whips, not a ton, but I have a few. First, quick and easy one, my sock that's had maybe about that much on it since last week. However, this is my out and about sock. The yarn has started to barf, so I think I'm going to finish off this sock because I'm about 2/3 of the way up the foot. Why I am making these socks like this, I don't know. They've got a 4-inch leg on them for no reason at all whatsoever. Fish lips kiss heel. I'm doing them top down, which I never do. I normally do them toe up. I did these ones top down as well. I never make top down socks because I don't like Kitchener in the toe. Anyway, because this yarn has started to barf, I am going to finish this sock off at home and then just knit until the barf has sorted itself. It is Truly Wool Rich by Signet. It's a UK yarn company. That's the colours. It's a UK yarn company. I have no idea what language that's in on the side. It looks French, but it might not be French. Apologies to any French people or French speaking people if that's not. I don't know. But it is, it's a UK company. Yeah, West Yorkshire, Bradford, which is not far from where I used to live. So, yeah, I've got that in my little travel bag. So I'm going to try and get them done over the weekend, so that by the start of next week I'll have a fresh sock to take, because I also don't want to be out and about and having to do the toe, and I'm pretty close to the toe, so I might just get it finished over the weekend and get the next one started. I might actually focus on them and just try and get them finished. That could be a plan. This may or may not happen, because I have a tendency to just forget what I had planned to do, and if I don't write it down, there's a good chance I'll forget. So we'll see how that goes. Next whip, I'm not going to show you all of these, but I've been making these quilt blocks. They're all different Japanese style prints. I had ordered, and I know some people have a lot of feelings about this place, but I ordered some stuff from Temu. And one of the things that I ordered was some fabric strips, because fabric strips are a really just easy way to make a quilt. And they were only, I think they were about $3.50 for 40 strips. Me not reading it properly, I thought it was going to be like jelly roll size, but they're not. This is like literally the width of them. So that's what, about 8 inches, maybe? Probably. Yeah, so I was just sewing 4 of them together, and I've done that for the entire thing. I got 2 packs, so I now have 20 squares. I've ordered another 2 packs because I don't think this is going to be big enough for what I want. My plan is to, let's see if I can pick them up here. I'm going to get some navy blue and put navy blue strips in between these, and then navy blue strips going that way, and then have myself a nice little Japanese inspired quilt. I say these are all like Japanese prints. Some of them are really nice. I like these ones. I'm actually impressed with the fabric. I mean, it's not the size that I wanted, but that's me not reading things, so I can't really complain about that. The actual fabric itself is really nice quality. I've bought cheap fabrics off places like Amazon and eBay before, and it comes, and it's like, even off like reputable companies, I will buy fabric and you can see through it. It's like really thin poly cotton. This feels like cotton, and you can't see through that at all. So for the money that I've paid for this, and it is just for me to go over the back of the sofa, I'm a little obsessed with anything Japanese as well, so that's why I went for the Japanese prints. But say they're all different colours. It'll be just an absolute mishmash quilt, but they're all Japanese themed. So that's, I need to wait on the rest of them arriving basically before I can do this. But once they have arrived, it'll be really quick and easy to put together, and hopefully very soon I will have a nice big quilt in there. I think when I ordered the last time, it took a week. It took about a week to come, the stuff that I'd ordered. So I'm hoping it's not going to take too long this time as well. So that's one whip, which is on hold until I can get some more fabric. Oh, next whip. Some cross stitch. Let's see. So I've finished off the owl. He's completely finished now. I've filled in the little spot. On the pattern, the spider has 6 legs. I thought I was being ridiculous, and I was like, the spider's only got 6 legs. And my 11-year-old was like, what? Why has it only got 6 legs? He was like very offended. It's not even a spider if it's only got 6 legs. Yes, I know, but you know, I've got some little bats at the top, some little leaves, filled in odd leaves at the bottom, and this bit of the one that I'm on now is a pumpkin. I have done the entire branch, and there's going to be 4 owls all the way along, and just random little doodads at the top. It's just going to be more like the bats and the leaves, I think. So I've got the pattern over there on my Lowry stand. Over here somewhere there's a pumpkin randomly up in the air, because why not? So yeah, it's quick and easy little stitch. This is a kit that I'd got, can't remember if it's one of the ones I got off eBay or Amazon or something. It's one that I got as a kit before I knew these kits were actually really bad. But the actual kit itself isn't bad. It's good quality fabric, it's good quality threads. You get the needles, you get enough threads for everything. but the actual companies that make these cheap kits that you get on Amazon and eBay and things, they tend to rip off artists. That's the only issue with them, is they tend to rip off artists. The actual kit itself is good quality. The ethos behind the kit is not good. So just being clear on that. I have lots of these kits because I bought them before I knew about any of this. And because I have the kits, I'm going to use them because it's wasteful not to, really. I bought the kits because I like the patterns, so I will continue to do the kits. I have a lot that I've bought original from designers as well. And I just won't buy any more of these ones. I have enough cross-stitch kits to last me. Between cross-stitch kits, cross-stitch books, and things that I design myself, I have enough cross-stitch to last me until the end of eternity. So I don't need to buy any more. I mean, you know, if I see a nice pattern, then I might buy it. But I've got all these patterns on Etsy, and I buy them because I want to do them, and then because I'm not actively looking in my purchases on Etsy, I kind of forget that they exist until I buy another pattern and it goes into Etsy. And because I'm not starting it right away, it's terrible, honestly. But and I don't know, and it's kind of related to some life stuff as well, which I'll have a little blether about at the end, I suppose. So I'm waffling. I'm so waffly today. I'm so sorry. Cross stitch. Been working on that. I'm hoping to get some more done on that this week. I'm trying to carve up my time a bit better so I can get more stuff done. I've got a new phone, and the new phone kindly tells me how much time I spend online, or how much time I spend looking at my phone, and I was actually appalled at myself. And I know a lot of it is like WhatsApp stuff because I'm talking to my partner or talking to like other people, but still I'm spending far too much time on my phone. So I am trying to have less phone time, more actively doing things time. So I'm scheduling my time better. I have 2 more whips. Good luck if you're still here. Ah dear. Right. Where is my hook? I was watching, who was I watching now? It was a new person. I can't remember. It was an American lady. And she has started a ripple blanket. I thought, I've not made a ripple blanket for a really long time. And I have 5 balls of this stuff. And I originally had 9 balls of it, and I made a C2C a few episodes ago. Quite a while ago now, I think. But I made a C2C blanket with it, using 4 of them. And, oh, there's my hook. Sorry, getting a look at the top of my head there. I'm using my 4mm Omni ebony hook. This yarn is from Good Vibes Yarn, and it was in their mystery bags. And one of the mystery bags, you can choose to either have different yarns or all the same. And this was the one that I got that was all the same. It was 900 grams of this. When you get the mystery bags, the labels are not the right labels. So I don't know what this yarn is. But it's nice, it's soft. It's got a kind of, it's DK. It's got a kind of slightly velvety, it's hard to explain. It's just got a really nice feel to it. It's not fluffy, but it's kind of, I don't know. But this is how it works up on a ripple. I really like it. This is still the first ball, and I still have that much left. Like, the yardage in these balls seems immense. That was one of the reasons why I only put 4 balls in the corner to corner, because my original plan was to use all 9 and it would have ended up absolutely humongous, which is fine except for the fact that it's to go in my shop, and I tend to not sell massive blankets. I tend to sell like baby blankets, toddler blankets, lap blankets, that sort of size. I tend to not sell the big massive ones very often. So yeah, I don't know how big this one's going to end up, but I'm just going to put all 5 balls into this, and it is such a nice, whose pattern is it? Oh, I can't remember. I'll link it down below. Anything that I'm talking about, I'll either link it down below. If I do not link it down below, just leave me a comment or message me and I will give you the information, and I will also link it down below so that other people can find it, because sometimes I forget things and I forget to link things, because as much as I try to keep notes on things, yeah, sometimes I forget to write stuff down and then I forget. It's on Ravelry. It's been in my queue since, I don't know, it's an old pattern, and I'm pretty sure the pattern links through to a blog post, because I used to make these quite often because I like these ones. See in the centre, so this one's got a solid centre, this bit. Quite a lot of them you get, they'll have like a lacy bit in the middle, which looks really pretty, but I'm not really big on lacy things for babies. Like having things, gappy bits like that, that's fine. I like having open stitches like a DC. I do not like lacy things. So that's why I like this one, because it's solid in the middle. So it's breathable, but babies won't get their little fingers and toes caught in it. Or if they're anything like my youngest, they won't chew their way through it. He used to put everything in his mouth. You know, sometimes you get babies, just everything goes in their mouth. He was one of those. He chewed through so many things. He chewed through clothes, he chewed through blankets. Before he even had teeth, mind you, he would just like gum them to death. Baby gums are hard. So random tangent to go off on. So yeah, this is just my pick up and do a little bit every so often. Once you've got the pattern established, it's really easy. It's a 3-row repeat, and 2 of them are the same, and 1 of them is just ever so slightly different. So it's super easy once you've got the pattern in your head, just to keep going with that. And I've just put it in. Got this from Hobbycraft. It's just a little pink, I don't know what it's made from actually. It's like cotton, but it's quite an open weave. But this was only a couple of quid on Hobbycraft. I got it just to make up the postage on the last time I ordered from them. So I have, because I don't really have many project bags that are big enough for like blanket size things. I should really make myself some more of them, because when I make blankets, I don't use an absolute ton of yarn, but I like to have it all together. So yeah, I've got that one, and once that one's finished, I have another blanket that I want to make as well, but not until next month. But I'll show you that in a minute actually, because I've got the things there for it. But I've got one more whip, and it is, it's going to look ridiculous. So we have the, is that the right way around? We have this. And we have this. And he's going to be a little plague doctor. It's going to be a lot bigger than I thought actually. And he'll have like his little hat and his little body. And I think he's gorgeous. super happy with this. So I'm just using up various bits of scrap acrylic yarn that I have lying around. I think most of it is all going to be either paint box or Stylecraft Special. Now, that's what it is for the black and the white. This stuff, I don't know what it is, but it turns out it's really good for amigurumis. I think I got this, and you know how you get like the magazine kits? And they have like the little balls of yarn on the front to make whatever it is. I think it might be from one of those, because it's only just a small ball. And it's going to be just enough to finish the head off. But, see that? It's like stretchy and springy. And it's really, really nice to work with. It's not something that I'd maybe want to make like a garment or a bag or anything like that. But for amigurumi, it's really nice because it gives you nice tight stitches with no gaps at all. So I don't know what this yarn is. If anybody like knows of any yarn that you can buy that's like that, let me know, because it just feels like springy and squishy, and it's a bit stretchy. Saying that, I don't know what it's like when I've stuffed it, so we'll see what it's like once it's been stuffed. But that's going to be his little head. And that's it. I'm using my 2.5mm Omni hook for that. This is also ebony. It's an ebony handle, but it's got the little metal. And this is the hook that I use for pretty much all my amigurumis. I'll sometimes go down to a 2. It depends on what yarn I'm using. For my Totodile that I made last week, that was a 2mm hook I used for that, because that was much thinner yarn. I'm just dropping things everywhere. So yeah, and I'm gonna use these big massive eyes. I don't know what size any of these are. I need to get one of those like eye sizer things. This is just a box that I got off Amazon. That's mostly where I buy my safety eyes. I just buy them in bulk, just in big boxes. And they've always done pretty well. I've never had any issues with them. I know some people struggle with them, but I've never had any problems with them, I don't think. And I think that is everything. That's probably everything. So, future plans. I'm going to continue with my Stitcher library. Oh my god. So, yesterday, I made this impromptu decision. I was going to start doing a Stitcher library series. I made the video, I made my little, the picture that it shows on YouTube. I can't remember what it's called. Words. Anyway, so I made the little picture, put it up and everything, and I'd linked it to my boyfriend, and he was, and I had already spoken to him. I'd already told him that I was making this thing. Told him that I was making the cowl out of the chunky yarn that he bought me, and he's like, "Oh yeah, that's good, that's good." He doesn't crochet or knit or anything, but you know, he's an enthusiastic supporter of my habits. And it wasn't until after I've sent the thing to him and he's watched it, and I'm like, "So did you like the artwork at the beginning? Do you think that looks alright?" And he's like, yeah. So I've spent this whole time thinking you'd made a towel. I'm like, why would I be making a towel? Apparently, even after knowing me for this long, he struggles with my accent. And when I'm telling him that I made a cowl, because he never knew what a cowl was until he'd met me, and apparently still doesn't know what a cowl is, because he's like, "I thought you were making a towel." No dear, no, I wasn't. That. Oh dear. So yes, I was having a little head shaky moment. What else have I got? I've actually got a list down here. I've just remembered I've got it. So water bottles we've done. Ba, 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 ba. I actually remembered everything today. Yay! So the next thing at the Stitcher Library is the Plague Doctor. So that'll be the next thing up on there. So I'll probably not show it again on here until I've finished it, done the Stitcher Library, and then I'll show it on here. Yes, that's the order that I will do it in. And then I don't know what I'll do after that. It might be the Ripple Blanket, depends how I get on with that, depends how much time I have. We shall see. But I think it's a good idea and a good motivational thing to get me to start working through my stuff. See what else. What live stuff have we had? My reading plans have gone, absolutely gone. I've been trying. I started reading Neverwhere by Neil Gaiman, and I'm reading that on the Kindle app on my phone, and it's good and I'm enjoying when I'm reading it. But what's happening is I tend to read that when I go to bed, and by the time I'm going to bed I'm really tired and I just want to sleep. I'm not actually sleeping that well at the moment, so I'm finding that I'm really tired in the daytime as well, and like I go to bed and I fall asleep, but then I'm waking up a lot. I'm having very broken sleep. There was one night a few weeks ago I have my Fitbit which tracks my sleep. I had 58 minutes sleep all night. It's no wonder I waffle a lot. So yeah, it's my reading's just fallen by the wayside a little bit, which is sad because I was getting quite into it and I was quite enjoying it. So I'm trying to make a bit of an effort to get back into reading again. I've been trying to listen to audiobooks a little bit more. I'm trying to listen to audiobooks while I'm stitching, while I'm doing my cross stitch or embroidery, because obviously if I'm cross stitching or embroidery I need to be looking at what I'm doing all the time. But it depends on which bit of the cross stitch. Embroidery is not too bad, but for cross stitch you have to be counting. So if I'm having to do a lot of counting, it's quite hard to do that and pay attention to the book. So sometimes I just have music on. I always have to have something on. I can't just sit in total silence. So yes, I'm trying to notice the things that need to change and trying to make steps towards them. I've finished therapy now, which is why I'm trying to make all these little changes, because what happens here is you have like each different bit of England got different things. The way it works here is we have mental health people, and they will give you 6 sessions or 8 sessions depending on what you need. I had 8 sessions, so now I have to wait 3 months before I can go back. I'm pretty sure like people who have worse mental health than me have better like healthcare than that, but for me, I had 8 sessions, and I'm not sure it really helped, to be honest, but it's done. So there's that. I think I'd mentioned before she wants me to go in and get tested for ADHD because I take an awful lot of the boxes, and so that's been fun. I need to go and see about that. Unfortunately, as part of my mental health things, I struggle with remembering to phone people, or struggling with keeping my anxiety low enough to be able to phone people. I'm okay phoning people to tell them things. Phoning people to ask for things like an appointment, I struggle with. So, you know. What else? I spoke to Mum this week. I haven't spoken to Mum for ages, and I had to explain to my mum about the whole ADHD thing and the fact that I apparently have object permanence but for people, and it's not that I don't want to speak to her, it's just that I forget she exists. So that was a fun conversation. Thankfully my mum's like, my mum used to work with people with disabilities and mental health problems and things like that, so you know, she's fine. And as long as she knows that I'm okay. But she was just, I haven't spoken to her for quite a while, so she was just checking in and making sure I'm alright. So that was nice to get to speak to her and have a laugh, and because yeah, my mum gets my sense of humour, so we always have a good laugh. What else? Oh, I've started meal planning, because what I'm finding is I'm having an awful lot of food waste based on the fact that I'm just buying stuff that I like, essentially, and I'm not actually like buying it with a purpose to make a certain thing most of the time. So, meal planning. I have never properly done meal planning before, so I'm using a thing on, in the UK we have like supermarkets, and Tesco's is one of the big ones, and I get my shopping delivered from them. And on their website they have a section that's got lots of recipes and things in it, and they actually have a section where they will plan out 5 days worth of meals for £25, and I give you the ingredients list to go off and get it. So I'm trying that, and it also means that we get to try lots of different foods, different things that we normally wouldn't eat. And what my eventual plan is, because I do actually enjoy cooking, it's just sometimes you just get into a bit of a cooking rut and you're making the same things all the time, and then you just can't be bothered, and then you end up just making rubbish food or making the same things all the time. So I'm trying to get out of that at the moment. So we're going to do this, and we're going to try all these different foods, and I'll show you. I won't show you. Where did it go? I've lost my meal planner. Well, that's not a good start. My meal planner is not where it's supposed to be. Because I have my other books. These are my everyday books. I have lists of things in these that I need to function on a daily basis. Oh, where is it? Oh, that's not good. Anyway, it basically has a grid. It's like on the 2 pages. It has, I'll show you on this one, right? So say like on this page I will have just a list for your groceries. I'll have a bit underneath for notes, and on this side it's just like the weekly grid. So I'm not meal planning for breakfast and lunch or for snacks. I'm literally just meal planning for main meals at the moment. Because for breakfast normally the kids will have like cereal or eggs or fruit or something. We don't need to plan that. Lunches, the kids are at school, and I'm not meal planning for my own lunches because I'll just get whatever I fancy at the time. So we're meal planning main meals, and we're going to go through them. We're going to decide which ones we like and which ones we're going to cook again and which ones we're not so keen on, and eventually I'm going to transfer all the recipes into their own book, and I will have a book of recipes that I like, that the kids like, that are going to be quick and healthy. Because that's the other thing as well, is we've fallen into some very bad eating habits, and I would really like to lose some weight. Not for any reason other than my health, honestly. I don't particularly like, I was very, very skinny up until I had my 2 children. I was like, even after my first one, I went back to being really skinny. But I had him when I was 19. So, you know, things are a bit springier when you're 19. The other two I had in my 30s, things are slightly less springy then. So, with my 11-year-old, it was a bad pregnancy, and then the aftercare, because I'd had to have a cesarean, they did a terrible job of it. Honestly, they could have, I swear, it was like they just let somebody in off the street and gone, here, sew her up. The stitches were bursting all over the place. I ended up getting infected when I was in the hospital. I still have horrible scars from like how bad a job they did. It was not a nice experience. But it also meant that I was bedridden for a long time. So I never lost the weight then. And then I struggled to lose the weight. And then I got pregnant again. And so I got even more bigger. And yeah, I've struggled since then. Struggled with my mental health, which meant that I wasn't motivated to lose weight, and it's all just a big, I mean, you know, this is not an uncommon thing. A lot of people have this, where you spend so much time running around after your kids, you forget to look after yourself. And I am not naturally good at losing weight. I have a good food relationship though. A lot of people seem to think that when you're struggling to lose weight, it's because you have a bad relationship with food. And I don't. I don't stress eat. I don't binge eat. I don't eat because I'm sad. I don't. The only time I eat more, or I don't eat much in the way of like sweet things. I don't eat chocolate. I don't eat a lot of rubbish. I don't snack really. I'm saying I don't snack. I do have these. My boyfriend hates wasabi. My boyfriend hates peas. He bought me this. But as a general thing, I don't snack. And I have a fairly healthy relationship with food. So it's not that. Exercise can be a bit of an issue sometimes because I have problems with my back and I have really bad sciatica this week. My in-laws have had to pick the kids up from school yesterday and they're taking them to school today because I was trying to walk them to school yesterday and I was in tears trying to walk up the road because it was so bad. I don't know what it is that set it off. It just happens to be super, super bad at the minute. But I'm also taking steps to exercise a little bit more. So I'm hoping just little changes. I'm trying to drink more water as well. I know I'm drinking Lucozade at the minute. If you don't know what Lucozade is, it's a glucose drink. A sparkling glucose drink with sugars and sweeteners. But this was like the original energy drink before things like Red Bull had been invented. I only like this one and the cherry one. And I get very upset when people try to feed me the orange one because it tastes like it's a medicine that I used to get when I was little. I think it's some kind of like dissolvable paracetamols, and I think it tastes like that. So it's horrible. So I've gone off on like so many tangents. I'm sorry. Let's see what else. So I've done reading, Stitch Library, the meal planning thing. I've been trying to watch a few more. I've been catching up on my podcasts. I won a competition. Crochet Knit Love by Jo. She has a podcast. She has. She did have a website, but she's not running the website anymore. She dyes yarn. It's Winnie's Yarn, and you can find her on eBay because she decided that running the website was costing too much. So it's more cost effective for her at the minute as a small batch dyer to like sell her stuff on eBay. So that's what she's doing. But she had a competition 2 weeks ago, I think, and I won. So I haven't got the yarn yet. She's had some like life stuff going on, so I'm in absolutely no rush for it, and I know that I'll get it when it arrives, but I was excited. It's a skein of yarn, so I'll show you that when it arrives as well. So yeah, I've been catching up on podcasts. I fancied like watching some films the other day. You know, sometimes you just want to get settled in and watch a couple of movies. So I'm having a little flick through Netflix, and I thought, quite fancy watching a horror. So I saw Halloween, the Rob Zombie remake, and I haven't actually seen that one, which I was quite surprised at. I didn't realise I hadn't seen it until I looked, and I thought, let's watch that. So watched that. It was alright. It was alright. I think I prefer the original one, because the original one, I think, had a little bit more suspense. I don't know, but it was alright. It was quite good. And then I watched what I thought, because I'd watched Halloween, I thought, I quite fancy watching something 80s. What can I watch? And then I just happened to be flicking through Netflix, and Footloose was on. I thought, I've not watched that for years. I didn't read anything about it, because you know it's Footloose. Started watching that, and I haven't seen this for a while, but this does not look familiar. And it turns out that was a remake. So watch it anyway. I watched that, and it was okay. I wouldn't watch it again. It wasn't terrible, but I think films like that are kind of a time, and I think that one was in early 2000s, maybe 2010s. I think that's when that one was set, and it's pretty much all the same premise, but it's not got like the... To me, 80s films have got a certain thing about them, and to me the 80s was, well, maybe not the 80s, maybe the 90s. I think the 90s was probably the last decade that had character. Anything after I mean, people are going to disagree with me on this. After the 90s, from 2000s up until now, everything's been kind of samey as far as a lot of things go. I know a lot has happened, but it's hard to explain. Like, you can look at something and say, that's from the 80s. You can look at something and say, that's from the 70s. That's from the 40s. You know, I don't think the 2000s have had any, like, era-defining kind of fashions or... yeah, I don't know. I know what I mean. It's hard to put into words. I think I'm big on the 80s though. I love the 80s. I'm an 80s baby, so I was born in 1980. So the 80s for me are like my formative years, and then the 90s are my teenage years. So yeah, I think the 80s is probably one of my favourite decades, because there's just so much. It was such a weird time because everything was just progressing rapidly, but at the same time everything was... do you know what? I had a scary thought the other day. I'm standing outside the school waiting on the kids, and I'm looking at my phone, as you do. Looking at some emails and stuff, and then it occurred to me, I'm standing here on my phone picking my kids up. When I was my kids' age, mobile phones hadn't even been invented yet, and the internet was not out there for public consumption. I felt so old. And I was thinking, like, the amount of stuff that's gone on since then in the last 20, 30 odd years. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. I remember my auntie and uncle come up and they had a mobile phone and it was like that size and it had its own box that it had to sit on all the time. That's the first mobile phone I ever saw. I never got a mobile phone till I must have been 17 or 18 before you could go into a shop and just buy a mobile phone. And they were just like the ones with the little screens on them, and all you could do on them was phone or text. And now my mobile phone can record full-length podcasts. It can do all sorts of things. This mobile phone has more computing power than a computer that I used to have. So it's crazy. Right, that is enough waffling from me. Oh my god. Anybody who makes it to this point, thank you. And yeah, I don't know why, I'm just very, very waffly today. And I've just scratched my lip and got black lipstick in my nail. I like this lipstick because I've put on like a bright pink underneath it, and then the black goes on over the top, but it's like a sheer black, so you can still see the pink coming through. Right. It's a good way to make use of those lipsticks that you buy that when you get them home they're a completely different colour to what you thought they were, or if you buy them online or get them as part of a set or anything like that. Just mix your colour, not necessarily with black, I know that's not everybody's thing, but don't be scared to mix your lipsticks up to make a new colour. If you've got a lipstick and you don't like the colour of it, try mixing it with a different lipstick. You never know. Might find your favourite colour. Right, I'm going to go because we are now over an hour. We are at 1 hour and 6 minutes. Hopefully this week it will not take 2 days to upload. I was having really bad internet problems last week, and well, saying that, I don't know if it was my internet, because there were a few people who were saying it was taking them a long time to upload, but I think it might have been a mixture of that and my internet problems. So I'm hoping, my internet seems to be fine now, so I'm hoping that it's going to be okay and it's going to upload reasonably quickly. So this week I will hopefully have another Stitchy library, and I will be back again next Friday with another podcast. And let's see what I can get done this week. Okay, bye.